Hello everyone, how are you all going? Pia Antico here, your Joy Reboot mental coach and trainer for single women over 40 who are empty nesters looking for fun and freedom in their lives post caregiving for everybody else. This is what I'm here for. Now, I'm jumping on because I want to remind you all, for those who haven't signed up yet or are not in my group, Crone Life, Freedom and Fun After 40. So I'll put the link above here. But tomorrow I am doing a live masterclass in my group, and it's release, recharge, receive. It's all about getting yourself centered in your inner wisdom so that you can attack 2022 joyfully and be open to the miracles that are abound when you are in your present moment wisdom. So, hey, who is tuning in? Comment, share some love. Hey, I am reminding everyone that I've got my masterclass on tomorrow. It's free. It's in my group. I will put the link to my group above the video. And if you also can see on my wall, pinned to the top of my wall, is the link to my group. It is all about releasing. Hey Robin, thank you so much for tuning in. That is so sweet of you. I hope that you are doing really well, and I hope that you join in for the free masterclass in my group tomorrow, 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. Now, here's the thing. I will put the sign up for the masterclass above this video, because if you want permanent free access to the replay, then you need to sign up so I can email it to you. Because what's going to happen tomorrow is I will do the live in my group, and then I'm going to take that live down in 24 hours, because it's all part and parcel of a paid program that I'll be doing later on. But for those who want free access to it tomorrow, from tomorrow, just that short time, you need to sign up and I will email it to you. So, now today in my group, we just finished talking chapter 7 of Joe Bailey, one of my coaches, Joe Bailey, his book, Thriving in the Eye of the Hurricane. So for the last 7 weeks, we have been doing story time on a Wednesday, and we have been talking about how when we are in our present moment wisdom, which is available to us in the present moment at all times, when we are in that wisdom, we get to show up no matter what's going on. A lot of us believe, and we're being told to believe it through what society tells us and movies and books and all the rest of it, that in order for us to be happy and to feel okay, that we need to change the outside world. We need to change the events and the people in them, and also change the story that we told ourselves about it and all the stuff, that it's all outside of ourselves. And when we do that, we unfortunately lose sight of what is already present, our innate wisdom, our innate resilience. We are energy beings in physical form, and we are plugged into an infinitely beneficial universe. We have innate resilience, and even when shitty things happen, we're not permanently scarred by it. We're not broken. We don't need to dig around the story in our head about it. We also don't need to go digging around unconscious wounds, this, that, and the other, that a lot of the spiritual self-healing space. So spiritual self-healing space will tell you that there's unconscious things that you need to go digging around and working with and using techniques and strategies to fix in order to be okay. And the mental health space tells you that you don't need to go digging around your conscious thinking, the story in your head, in order to be okay, in combination with changing what's outside, and you don't need to. And so today's chapter was a really important chapter for those of us who are rebuilding post 40. A lot of us are finding that we are single due to divorce, or maybe being widowed. Maybe we never really got into a permanent relationship of the legal kind. That's many ways of doing things, but a lot of us may find ourselves free of child giving, child caring, all that stuff, where the kids are grown, they've left now. And we also might find ourselves alone without a partner. And for many of us, including me, who have gone through it twice, two difficult marriages, 2 toxic husbands, 2 divorces, and all the storytelling that I had about what that meant about me and about my life and my future and all the stuff. And, well, when we get caught up in believing that the past predicts our future and that we need to go digging around in that past in order to prevent stuff from happening, when we get caught up really identifying with the meaning that we've given to the things that have happened, this is what keeps us away from our present moment wisdom, our present moment resilience. And so the chapter we were reading today from, and I was chatting about, was indeed that. Healing from the past, trauma, addiction, and abuse. And I find that it's really actually quite important as well, because in the trauma-informed therapeutic mindset, I'm trained in it, multiple degrees in psychology, certified grief counsellor, I've done the whole thing and gone down that road of really taking seriously the story of self and believing that the outside world is the thing that made us feel that way, and seeking healing from analysing and continually going through and rehashing and reliving in order for some supposed catharsis to happen. And what is really beautiful about the modality that I work from now, what I'm doing while I'm talking to you is I'm also shuffling cards, because I will pull a wisdom card for you at the end. And so what we were talking about today was the fact that you do not need to go down that road. Resilience is not hard work. It doesn't matter how many decades that you've carried a belief or a story of a past experience and how it's impacting you now. It also doesn't matter if you've been outwardly diagnosed with clinical labels. It doesn't matter what you've told yourself about that and what that means, what you've thought that it meant about yourself as a being and your experience through the world. At any moment, we can have a fresh experience of ourselves, our relationships, and our engagement in the world. It is not predicted by the past, and it's certainly not predicted by our current thinking about the past. And we are not permanent. We are not the labels we tell ourselves. We are not the labels that others have said that we are. And unfortunately, what I see can happen in the discussion of dealing with traumas and dealing with past hurts and all the rest of it, that is part and parcel of living, is that when women, because I work with women, but men as well, as it's true for them, but when they say, well, I'm anxious avoidant, or I'm PTSD, or I am depressed, I'm anxious, I am all these clinical labels that are really, really serious labels, and they're clinical, and it means that I can't get past them. It means that they are permanent state of being, and that this is it. And that my focus is then on treating the symptoms of that label. And the problem with that is that it's not rooted in truth. Your core being is not broken. Your core being is not PTSD. Your core being is not anxious and depressed. Your core being is not any of that. Your core being is resilient. You have resilience and well-being and a default factory setting of joy. And it's only the fact of being caught in the story of self, label of self, and label of experience that looks so real, that looks three-dimensional, that looks solid and permanent, but it isn't. And so when you work with me, when I work with my clients in joy rebooting their lives after whatever crap has gone on beforehand, the releasing of that, and so release, recharge, receive of tomorrow's masterclass, the releasing is not digging around and excavating the story in your head. You don't need to know why in order to let go. That was a profound realization for me in letting go of 2 abusive marriages, a tricky relationship with my father, and an adulthood of insecure economic situations. So I will put the link to sign up for the masterclass above this video. And while I have been shuffling, yes, I wanted just to pull an Oracle of Mystical Moments wisdom card for the collective. Yeah, so I love these cards. They're really pretty. Now for me, I love the use of Oracle tools and things that help me to listen in at what is already innate in me. My inclination, what is innate in you, your inclination, your inner wisdom. I don't use tools and spiritual tools or otherwise for predictive purposes. And I know that fun as they aren't actually a necessary part of tapping into one's wisdom. You don't need a tool or a strategy, but they're fun. So, and when I pull a wisdom card, I wrap the context, the lesson context, within the framework of my Awaken the Joy Within 3 principles paradigm inspired framework that I work from. And it's very interesting that we have been talking about the past, and the card is Treasured Memories. And we're talking about thinking about the past and the present moment. So here's a really fabulous thing about thinking about the past. The only point of contemplating the past or reviewing the past is to see how far you've come and to see what you can appreciate about where you've come from and where you are now. And the beautiful thing about contemplating the past, the wonderful thing about it, is that we are complete control over the narrative. And so we can decide right now, in this moment, to stop looking at a particular event or engagement with someone else or whatever it is in a way that is unhelpful, in a way that is distressing to us in the present moment. We simply do not need to keep looking at it that way. It really is that simple. There is no greater truth in, well, I used to, that's the interpretation I had of that event, and it was crappy and it was horrible and it means this and it's solid and real and permanent. It's not. The stories we tell of our lives and our experience are not permanent. They do not make who we are. And we have every power right now to stop looking at something in a certain way if it is distressing to us in this moment. We live in a society that has been placing an awful lot of importance and seriousness on the crappy feelings and thoughts, as if well, they're telling us something really significant that we need to focus on and pay attention to and dig around and do something with. The opposite is true. Our innate default factory setting is joy, resilience, well-being. Anything other than that is story in our head. And that story in our head is created. It's illusory. It's not the truth. The truth is our inner being. The truth is the present moment, and the present moment is that space that is created by the subtraction of thinking. It's the default factory setting of if we are not bringing the past into our present thinking, or worrying about the future in our present thinking, or labeling ourselves in some way in our present thinking. When we're not doing all that, that space is the present moment. And that present moment is dynamic. It is full of limitless potential. And in that space is our radiant wisdom. And when we are in that space, that's where we have that calm. We have that knowing, that deep knowing, inclination, intuition, gut feeling, the whole stuff. Anything that is scary to us, anything that is up here scary, is not our wisdom. What sometimes scary is telling us, scary might be telling us that we're not listening to our inner wisdom, which may well be telling us to move from that particular event or situation or person, or don't go there. Oftentimes my biggest problems in my life have been because I ignored that voice saying don't do that thing. But when we follow our wisdom, when we are in our inner knowing and we step forward with it, there just simply isn't all that extra thinking. There is no need for it, because we flow with it, we flow with the universe, and we are not needing to know what was and what will be. That is true freedom, and that is fun as well. It's where we get to be curious, it's where we get to be adventurous, when we get to be free from our self-created suffering of thinking. So, that's your little nugget. You have control over what you choose to think about. So how did that sound for you, dear Robin? I do believe you're still watching. Thank you so much for staying here. How does that sound? Does that resonate with you? Would you like to know more about that? Drop a comment, let me know. And for those of you who will watch this in replay, join me tomorrow, Australian Eastern Standard Time, 10 a.m. I will put the link above the video for my masterclass that will be offered free for 24-hour access to it in the group, but you can have free permanent access to it for a very short period of time where you sign up. You get free access to it, permanently lifetime access to it, if you sign up for it. But that link to sign up for it will only be available for a short period of time. If you want to work with me and as a one-to-one, I have got space left for this 3-month period of my VIP one-on-one coaching, Awaken the Joy Within coaching. So that, I think I've got 2 spots left for that. So if that is something you want to jump in with me, then comment or DM and I can hook you up with a booking link. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Robin, for tuning in. I'm wishing you a beautiful rest of your day. If you have any further questions about today or other insights, drop it in the comments or jump in my DMs, whatever works for you. And the same with anyone else who watches this in replay. Loving you all very much. Take care. Bye.